Hello everyone, welcome back to another Taekook one-shot. This is a special episode of Punishment Taekook one-shot. I hope you will love it. Soft snoring could be heard from the very ruffled up bed. Two bodies were sprawled out on top of it, one lying with his head on the other's chest. Seeing mark and mark of holding were covering Taehyung's neck and shoulder and hand already, and the rest could not even be seen yet, covered up by the blanket. You could see they had a very rough night. Exhausted yet again, Taehyung slowly started to wake up, and the birds could be heard, and from outside the window, singling signaling it was next morning. Already a gone escaped his lips when Taehyung freed his eyes open. Disoriented, he looked up, trying to remember where he was. Jungkook's house. What happened last night? Taehyung slowly looked at the still sleeping form next to him. The great Mafia boss Yeon Jungkook, a smile on Jungkook's face and relaxed snoring coming out of the man's parted lips. This man, Taehyung's neck hurt already from the turning his head. This man, regaining his memory back, Taehyung suddenly sat up, a painful yelp escaping his lips. When Tae did so, his body hurt all over, especially one place in particular. Taehyung remembered everything from last night. He was slowly trying to regain his composure with a flushed face. Last night was intense. The way Jungkook took control over him, dominating him. He never thought this man would ever lose control like that. The always composed Mafia boss Yeon Jungkook, who always knew what to do, always loved to be soft with his baby doll, guiding Taehyung everywhere when they always walk in wrong way. This man was a beast last night, but Taehyung loved it. It was all new but exciting. Taehyung looked down to examine his chest and hissed from his very sore neck and shoulder as he saw the aftermath of last night. Mark red and purple covered his chest and stomach and collarbone. He dragged the mark with his fingertips. He would have to wear so much clothes and makeup to cover all of this up. Further down, he couldn't look yet, so he slowly lifted up the blanket. His down and thighs were marked too with small finger marks. Blushing, he covered himself up again. They knew why those marks were there. He lied back down with his and sighed. Thing really was sore from all the things they did all night. He didn't want to remember it. His eyes turned red already from only remembering how Jungkook acted. He pulled the cover over his head from shame. All the begging and screaming they did to Jungkook, they wanted all this so bad. He wanted to be relaxed, and that is why he was begging to Jungkook to let him relax. But Jungkook was punishing him, so he didn't let this happen so easily. The way Jungkook used him and made him relax so many times, it's a miracle. His thigh is still attached to his body. They look at his red marked wrist, turning them around and looking at the red strips around it. The man was something else. Jungkook had secured Taehyung to the headboard for at least until midnight and twisting him all around for his work. Wealth was all too much for Taehyung, but though they had loved it, Blushing again, he wanted to get up to use bathroom and finish something to eat because he was hungry and that's why he had came here in first place. But Jungkook obviously been having other plans for him. Slowly they peeled off the blanket and with much trouble and tried to get his feet on the ground, almost gone again from the pain in his muscles. When they finally sat on the edge of the bed, he stood up but fell down on the ground with a thought again from how sore and jelly his legs were. A painful horsey yelp escaped his lips, this time waking up the man who was responsible for all of this. Baby doll, what are you doing? Jungkook yawned. He turned over to see that Taehyung was not in the bed but sitting on the floor with a heavy blush covered his cheeks. Jungkook grinned widely from this. His baby doll's body completely gave out all the details of the work they did all night. Jungkook was even still tired, only having slept for a few hours after it. Taehyung tried to speak and curse at his Mafia boyfriend, but only thing leaving his mouth were horsey sounds, making him flustered even more. Taehyung couldn't even speak anymore. You wished was what Taehyung could get out, almost not hearable. He tried to get up again, but not being able to get his feet to work, he fell back, making his body hurt even more, and his bump was killing him. He wanted to shower, but he couldn't get up, so here he was needing the help of his beast Mafia boss to shower. Mustering up all the courage, he asked, "Help me, please, Shankuki. You did this to me." Taehyung whispered, embarrassed at his current state. Jungkook was next to him in a few seconds and crouched down next to him in his bathcloth. Taehyung's eyes widened, trying to cover himself up too. He himself was also in the same situation and feeling slightly embarrassed at that. Jungkook grabbed his baby doll's arm and just like that swept his other arm under Taehyung's leg and picked him up by bridal style. "You don't have to carry me like that." Taehyung tried to hide in Jungkook's chest, feeling all flustered. They kind of like this. His mafia boyfriend carried him around like he did in their home sometimes, but not now for a whole different reason. "Well, I put you in this situation, so I have to take care of you, baby. I'm sorry I was out of control yesterday night," said Jungkook while smiling and at his baby boyfriend. "Don't. I love it. I need to be sorry." No need to be sorry. Thanks, slapped Jungkook on his chest, feeling even more embarrassed. Jungkook only laughed at that and walked over to the bathroom, putting Tae down on the toilet lid and so he could start the shower for his baby boy. When Jungkook was done, he signaled Taehyung to get in. "I can't walk, stupid," Taehyung said, looking up at him, trying to avoid gazing at that amazing body which was still very clothless in front of them. "Ah, right. Sorry." Jungkook helped him get up and walk him onto the shower, getting in behind of Taehyung also to help him stand up, slipping his hand around Taehyung's waist to steady him. Taehyung leaned back and let the shower slide over his sore limb. They let out a pleased sigh. He really needed this. "How are you feeling, love?" Jungkook whispered behind Taehyung, laying his head on his shoulder and caressing his body, tracking his fingerprint on Taehyung's waist one by one. Taehyung just slightly leaned against each other. Taehyung more on Jungkook because his limbs were really weak and trembling from exhaustion. I'm alright, I guess, Taehyung said in a horsey voice. Jungkook was so pleased with Taehyung. He could make his baby look so good with all the marks Jungkook made on him. He loved showing off his work. Later they know that this boy was his and only his, only for the rest of his life. Taehyung definitely knew that after last night. He made it clear to not play and tease or ignore Jungkook anymore. Learn your lesson, baby. Jungkook turned his baby's head to look at him and teased him. Taehyung flushed and tried to get away from him, but falling back against Jungkook, who immediately eggful Tae again in his arms. They definitely learned his lesson. He would not angry Jungkook like that again, knowing it was his own fault for neglecting him, but he was happy because he did it knowingly and pissing Jungkook off. Get Taehyung to see Jungkook's new side, which they love a lot, wanting to be close to Jungkook to reassure him that he was alright and sorry. Taehyung turned around and in his arm and laid his head on Jungkook's shoulder. I'm sorry, I will be good boyfriend from now on, he said, and softly smiling against Jungkook's shoulder. Huh? You better be, baby doll, or I will have to punish you again, but I will not be this rough from for you next time, but I hope next time will never come. Jungkook put in his ear, making Taehyung go putty in his arm. They blushed from the actual liking that punishment, getting a little turned on from the memory of last night. Jungkook started washing his baby doll's body with soap and washing him gently, not putting so much pressure on his marks. Still, Taehyung gasped from the soreness, his body lying against Jungkook for support. Jungkook crashing his back and slowly walked his way down to back to examining the damage he had done. Taehyung tried to hide from embarrassment. They never really did this, and never Jungkook had to check Tae for any hurt. Their love marking was not this intense before. How are you feeling here? Jungkook asked while putting a finger in between his cheeks, sliding over his hurt skin and feeling the hurt place. Taehyung hissed from the contact, feeling it hurt his skin top down there. We need to put ointment on this, baby, Jungkook whispered in Taehyung's ear, which made Taehyung shivered. Now was not the time to get turned on, they thought. He needed food badly first. Okay, can we have breakfast first? I'm starving, Taehyung whined. Of course, baby, anything for you. Jungkook kissed his shoulder and finished washing him up, drying him off carefully and dressed him in a shorts again and oversized t-shirt from now. Jungkook loved the way his baby was so pliant and relaxed now after a very rough night. He definitely wouldn't do this ever again. Jungkook can't hurt his sweet baby. Jungkook hoisted him up again, against under the arm and leg bridal style and walked over to the kitchen. Taehyung yelped and slapped his Mafia boyfriend's chest. You don't have to carry me anymore, Cookie. I can walk again. But I want to take care of you now, so let me, Jungkook said seriously and placed Taehyung on the kitchen counter, keeping Taehyung's arm around his neck. Jungkook looked up at him lovingly and placed his hand on both sides of Taehyung's waist and on the counter. Taehyung blushed at their position and the way Jungkook was staring at him, sitting on the little painful, but he didn't think about it too much. It was good kind of pain. Stop staring like that. Make me food. They huffed, embarrassed and averted his eyes. Jungkook leaned in closer, putting his hand on his neck, kissed Taehyung's nose gently. I love you, baby doll, Jungkook said in between kissing his face. Lately landed a soft kiss on Taehyung's red lips. Taehyung could only lean in more and kissed the Mafia boss back, tightening his grip around Jungkook's neck and moved his lips against Jungkook's. Loved him too, but he couldn't say that now, too shy for his own good, with the sweetness dripping off this moment. Suddenly Jungkook pulled back, looking at a very flustered Taehyung with hooded eyes. He smiled at his needy baby. After a rough night, he still was not satisfied. That is what Jungkook saw. Let's get you filled up, baby. The Mafia grinned as Jungkook saw Taehyung processes his word. He said, blushing furiously. Taehyung looked away. Jungkook stepped back away from him, laughing, and started preparing breakfast, leaving a very flustered Taehyung sitting on the counter and walking around him like nothing happened. When Jungkook was finished, he fed Tae and food while Tae was still sitting on the counter with Jungkook standing in between his legs. He fed Taehyung and himself, eating from same plate, and Taehyung just let himself be fed, loving the attention and care he got from his beast Mafia boss. They loved those moments with Jungkook, just sitting and nothing talking. Although he still was a little turned on from their earlier kissing, he should not be in this mood at all anymore from all the work they had done last night, but his body still flustered from more. Taehyung's ear turned red again. He will his needy thoughts to leave, thoughts of just letting Jungkook do it all again to him here on the countertop, because he really was too exhausted for more. Maybe another time. Let's get you back on the bed so I can put some ointment on you, baby, Jungkook said, and while suckling Taehyung's waist and hoisted him up again. Taehyung automatically wrapped his leg around Jungkook's waist and laughed at that. This was also the way Jungkook would carry him around the house. He gripped his shoulder and let himself be carried to the bedroom. He was not complaining with this sweet Jungkook, his sweet soft Mafia boss Jungkook. Taehyung's heart started beating faster, and the love he had for Jungkook as he was carried through the house. Jungkook laid him carefully down on the bed with a soft kiss, smiling down at his baby. Taehyung smiled brightly at him too. Taehyung had to see how much Jungkook cared for Tae. It was all soaring in his eyes. It was flowing over. He was picked one last time before Jungkook stood back and walked away to the dresser and grabbed a ornament and walked back over to the bed. He climbed on his knees so he was facing Taehyung. Now Taehyung was getting a little shy because this was getting a little too much of embarrassing. Sorts of baby and open up. Let Dr. Jungkook examine you now, Jungkook said teasingly. Taehyung blushed bright red from the playfulness of Jungkook's tone, but he had to mutter up some courage because he needed it. This needed to happen. His wound hurt. I love you, baby, Jungkook said after pulling away and pulling Taehyung down onto the bed, lied down beside him, slowly caressing his hair. Taehyung looked up at him lovingly. I love you too, Jungkook, Taehyung stuttered out softly, a blush keeping up his cheeks. They truly did love him and he would do anything to spend all his free time with this mad Mafia boss. Jungkook kissed his forehead softly, smiled down at him, feeling so much love right now, so content with his baby. He wanted nothing more than to spend the rest of life with him. But I want to sleep now. I really can't do anything anymore. Taehyung whined with a yawn, hiding his face in Jungkook's chest. So everyone, this is end of the special episode. I hope you love it. Whatever you feel about the one shot, please tell me in the comment section. See you tomorrow with another Taekook one shot. Till then, take care, safe, bye, bye.